from Northridge 4x4. It's for the WK2, which I think is 2005 to 2010. That's what I typed in. So the wheel lugs, the JK. I guess that's for the JK and JL, which in the WKT, but that's 95 to 100 foot-pounds, 19 millimeter socket for the JK. JL 22 millimeters, 130 foot-pounds. I think for the WKT it's 60 or 65 foot-pounds. Track bar frame castellated bolt, 19 millimeters, 65 foot-pounds. Track bar axle mount bolt is 55 foot-pounds and a 15 millimeter socket. Sway bar links, bottom bolts, T55 Torx, and 18 millimeter is 70 foot-pounds. Sway bar links, upper nuts, 17 millimeters or 45 foot-pounds. Bottom shock bolts and nuts, 13 millimeters or 250 inch-pounds or 21 foot-pounds. Top shock bolts, 17 millimeters with small quarter-inch wrench on shaft, 17 foot-pounds. Spring retainer clip, 16 foot-pounds. Bump stop retainer cut bolt, 15 millimeters and hand tighten. Dana 30 differential cover bolts for the JK and JL, half-inch socket, 30 foot-pounds. Dana 30-inch differential fill bolt, 3/8 drive ratchet, and 20 foot-pounds. Steering stabilizer axle bolt and nut, 15 and 18 millimeter sockets, 55 foot-pounds. Stock castellated nut, 19 millimeter, 35 foot-pounds. That'd be the nuts that look like a rook off a chess game with the collar pin goes through them. Tie rod end clamps, 13 millimeters, 20 foot-pounds. Drag link clamps, 15 millimeters or 36 foot-pounds. This is kind of blocking it here. It's something framed, 21 millimeters or 130 foot-pounds. Eight arms frames, I think it's 8 arms frames, 21 millimeter or 130 foot-pounds. Next one's lower control arm, axle bolts and nuts, 21 millimeters or 85 foot-pounds. Upper control arms, bolts, 15 millimeters or 55 foot-pounds. Skid plate to frame, 3/4 inch bolt, mean 3/4 inch socket needed, 55 foot-pounds. Transmission mounts to skid plate, 13 millimeters. Chico 13 millimeters, and the Torx 45 foot-pounds. Transmission drain and fill bolt, 17 millimeter Allen bit, 14 to 20 foot-pounds. Transfer case drain and fill bolts, 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters. And mine took a 14 millimeter hex, so I'll just write that in on here. I'm not sure. I typed in 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's probably a hex also. I don't know why they didn't write that. The Torx 15 to 25 foot-pounds. I'd go on the lower side, especially on the fill plug. Don't need to be super tight. The bottom one, 15 foot-pounds would be good. But I think mine took I got it right here. I think it took a 14 millimeter. Yeah, it's right here. Oh no, it is a 10 millimeter. Alright. I'm gonna cross that 14 one out. I just put a 0 here. They're right, 10 millimeter hex is what it takes. This transfer case. And the track bar axle bolt T55 is 85 foot-pounds. The track bar frame bolt nuts 15 millimeter and 18 millimeter, 85 foot-pounds is the torque. Sway bar links outside nut 15 to 18 millimeter and 40 foot-pounds. Bottom shock bolts and nuts 15 to 18 millimeter, 74 foot-pounds. Top shock nuts 13 millimeter, and it is 23 foot-pounds. The differential cover bolts for the JK D44 is a half-inch. Must mean socket. 30 foot-pounds each bolt. I'm guessing all these bolts that aren't drain bolts or skid plate or mount bolts have to be cross pattern bolted. The differential cover for the JL D44 is 13 millimeter socket with the think socket with 25 to 30 foot-pounds of torque, and the Data 44 differential fill bolts 3/8 drive ratchet, and it's just the end of the ratchet is a 3/8 ratchet, and it's 25 foot-pounds of torque. I typed 2007 Jeep and it just gave me this list. It's got JL and JKs too. The 2007, the WK, they're right on this right here. They just didn't write hex. It's a 10 millimeter for the transfer case, drain and fill plug. The torque's 15 to 25 foot-pounds.